Hi, I'm Paul Sacco, and I'm introducing Ulla-Maaria Mutanen, who developed this idea called Thinglink, which provides a unique product code for all sorts of items, pretty much infinitely expandable, mostly designed for creative types who can't afford UPC codes or ISBN numbers, things like that. And she just launched at the Maker Faire over the weekend, so I thought it'd be cool to show it to a bunch of Googlers, and I think there's a lot of potential, and maybe it'll eventually make every item in the world searchable. So, welcome.
Hello, thank you for the invitation. My name is Ulla-Maaria and I come from Helsinki. I'm currently working at the University of Helsinki at the Department of Education. I study work and organizations, how big organizations develop new forms of activity. That's kind of my official agenda. But today I'm going to talk about my kind of unofficial agenda, mainly about things that I write on my blog. My blog is called Hobby Princess. There's a small story related to this. Actually, it goes 2 years back to when I was studying or visiting London School of Economics 2 years ago, and the family where I was staying put me to babysit this 5-year-old girl for one night called Grace. And what happened that Grace made me to watch a TV series called Bratz for 2 hours, which I have to say that was a pretty scaring experience. At the same time, I was reading an article where girls like Grace were presented as the future hope of our economy, because these 5-year-old kids have internalized the rules of our consumer society so well that they really know how to put money going. I thought that, well, there should be something more interesting research for these little girls. So I thought that, okay, if I'm going to write about things related to technology and society, and so I'm not going to write for consumer princesses. I'm going to write for active people, hobby. So that's why Hobby Princess. My 2 kind of main areas of interest that I write about are first, drafting as a technology-mediated social practice, or I could say internet-mediated social practice. And secondly, I'm interested in recommendation-based markets, especially for art, design, and craft. I know that they are both very large areas, and I'm going to touch upon both of them a little bit in this presentation, and especially how they come together in the project that I'm currently doing, which is called Thinglinked. A year ago, I wrote a small piece of text called Crafter Manifesto, where I was trying to pin down the idea that why do people enjoy making things? Why do we do all kind of stuff? And the starting point, and that was also later published in the Make magazine, that's why I was invited to attend the Maker Faire in San Francisco. The starting point, if we begin to talk about this, is that it seems that people do get satisfaction from being able to do things, because in the things that they do, that they make, they can see themselves. This is a very basic dialectical idea of us being in the world, of us becoming ourselves through making things, because through making things, when we externalize our ideas on paper, on physical products, we can reflect our ideas and then we can learn. Well, the joy of making things shows in different kind of small activities that we're very familiar with. First of all, people personalize the technology that they buy. For example, putting beads on mobile phones in Japan is a great hit. People personalize nice Nike sneakers. There's a sneakers for my friend, says hello idiot. That was the first thing that she could think in the morning when she was thinking what text she should put on those. There is, people do all kind of this hard craft, build all kind of gadgets. We saw that well in Maker Faire in San Francisco. Well, people are really crazy about doing all sort of things. T-shirt making is a very popular activity, also a very good business currently. And as you see, for example, iPod cozies, or how do you call iPod sleeves, they're like a big hit among the crafter community. It's not only my observation that people are now doing a lot of stuff. I think that they've always made stuff, but now it has become, with the kind of tools that we currently have, it has become an interesting phenomenon that also many writers in the field of innovation and organization talk about. For example, Eric von Hippel writes about democratizing innovation. Charles Leadbeater writes about a phenomenon called pro-am revolution. Henry Jesper writes about open innovation, saying that the most interesting things currently, especially the mobile sector, developed in the fringes, at the fringes, not inside big corporations, but in the kind of environments where people have time and freedom to try out new things. Also, maybe in a more kind of futuristic vision of making, presented by Neil Gershenfield in his book called Fab. Well, what is special about the things that we make is that they seem to have magic powers. They carry meanings that other people cannot see. These can be our ideals of what is beautiful and right, or they can carry our learning process, or they can carry cultural heritage related things like what we learned from our grandmothers or our parents. But the most important thing here is that it seems that people do want to share these stories. Whatever the meanings are, people want to share them with others. And that's why they seek recognition for the things that they make. Primary, if we made something, we want to show that to, and first we show that to our friends and family. But people who do think that they made generally cool stuff, they seek broader exposure for their products. And that's what we see currently, what's going on in blogging. I followed especially something called graph blogging, which means that people basically do stuff and post about stuff they do on their weblogs, for example. There are all kind of things done, like traditional crafting is big, but people also build all kind of robot and gadgets. People like to imitate like fashion items, or for example, this is Jean-Paul Gaultier's jacket. Not only, like if you think that only women do that, also, for example, in Finland, I found a very interesting subculture. Snowboarders, basically, they've started to make their own beanies, their own hats, for a cool personalized hat for snowboarding. This has become a huge phenomenon. And you can think that, for example, I followed 5 months an online chat about how to crochet the beanie, a hat, where teenage guys are just, sharing techniques, sharing pictures. There is this one guy called Ville, actually, who got so enthusiastic about it that he eventually put up his own beanie business. Now he's made something like 2,000 beanies, and he's currently employing his parents also in the company. I don't know if you can see this picture. This picture is the most popular weblogs in the Finnish blogosphere. On the right, you can see knitting blogs, and on the left is all the rest. You can see that they are they are very, very popular. They kind of live there in their own sphere. Then new interesting website where people meet and share stuff also emerge. I picked one example called supernatural.com, which, for example, have the practice called Picture Sunday, which means that every Sunday people post about stuff that they've made during the week, and then other people can comment, and that's how it works. There are blog rings for men who knit, knitters with cats, queer knitters, all kind of knitters. There are also different kind of organizations that are expanding very rapidly. This called Church of Craft, I think it's actually from here, where people meet online and offline. The essential thing here is that work seems to inspire more work. When we get to see what other people have made, we get new ideas. We want to do our own version of things. And I think that it's here when we kind of get into the basic idea of, or the basic question is that, is there some kind of different form of exchange going on here? Is there some kind of different crafter economics, which is, let's say, closer to hacker ethic or something? Which means that when I observe these people, I notice that people are not putting their stuff online to sell them, only for selling them, or only for earning money. They are publishing their stuff to get feedback, to get other people commenting their work, to get new friends, to meet new people and find new things, and most importantly, to have fun. And this is precisely those kind of weird projects that people do. Those are the kind of projects that we really want to recommend to other people as well. See what my friends have made, see this weird project that they built in Amsterdam, or I don't know. But these are the kind of projects that we really want to recommend. And that's kind of word of the day, or kind of slogan of the day. We all know markets are increasingly based on recommendations. Like Amazon is the best example. We get books recommended based on our previous purchasing behavior. We also got Amazon book recommended on our weblogs. We got Last.fm for recommending music. We have All Consuming Net, etc., etc. And you are perhaps familiar with the concept of long tail. And anyway, the first persons to conceptualize this idea of recommendation-based market and what does it mean was a guy called Chris Anderson, which is chief editor of the Wired magazine. He, in October in 2004, he wrote this article called Long Tail, where he said that actually the future of the entertainment business will be not in the body tail, not in the hits, but actually in the long tail, in the obscure products that you can only find online. And if you read the article, you kind of get the idea that everything that is not in the body tail, everything that is not hits sold in shops, is in the long tail, and that's the long tail economy. But if you take a closer look, you actually know that not all things are equally recommendable. Because recommendations are basically based on unique product codes. The product codes that we know best are, for example, Amazon identification number and the UPC barcode and the electronic version EPC and ISBN for books. But these codes are mainly developed for companies and by companies, and they are developed for the purpose of managing production and logistics mainly. And these codes for small producers actually seem pretty useless. They cost money and they are pretty difficult to get, hard to get. So that's why all these kind of weird projects that we see on, for example, this is a good site, We Make Money Not Art, which presents all kind of technology art projects. All these kind of weird, interesting stuff that we see, all these products that I was showing you previously, these products are not part of long tail. And you could say that most art and design and craft are actually not part of long tail, because long tail ends where product codes end. So that's why there is this huge invisible tail actually, which is much longer than the long tail, which means things without unique ID codes. About a year ago, we started thinking that this is not fair, in the sense that it's not fair that those who kind of only who have their products within the commercial system get most publicity or get their voice heard. So about a year ago, we came up with this idea of free product code, and that's actually emerged when I was speaking at a technology conference in Copenhagen called Reboot. And I was talking about craft blogging mainly, and about Crafter Manifesto. And it happened that in the evening, on Saturday evening, when we went out, we were at a bar, and then we met this guy called Jimmy Wales from Wikipedia, and we started talking about this idea, long tail, yeah, it's good, but yeah, we really, what's missing is the free product code for small producers. And then we started like circling around the idea, and I think that like after first or third beer, we decided, okay, let's give it a try. Let's make a free product code and let's see what comes out of it. At that night, we were talking that, well, maybe we should call that long tail identification number or something like that. A bit later, we thought that, okay, maybe not. Let's call it a Thinglink, because it would like physically be a link between physical objects and online information about them. This is the site that we just published at the Maker Faire this weekend, called thinglinked.org. It is a site. It's an open database, free open database, where makers, all kind of makers, like artists, designers, and crafters, they can go and create unique identifiers for their work. This was not the first site that we built. Previously we built a site called thinglinked.com, which was just a kind of first experiment where people could go and create unique identifiers for free, but you couldn't register or save them anyway. Then to make, like, the first attempt of the database was a site called wikiproducts.org. So we just took the media wiki platform and put this and made a site where people could just enter products and describe them. And it was working all right, but after using it for some time, I realized, it was also working in Google, especially if you put that Thinglink on the title level in information. But after a while, I realized that this is actually too difficult to use. It's not going to work with people, with artists and designers, crafters who are not so familiar with working with, or especially coding and HTML. So we thought that we have to make it much more simple. I'm going to show you the site after this presentation, but I will first address a couple of questions and explain a little bit more about this site and about Thinglinks. First of all, for whom did we build this? We built this for makers. This can be all kind of makers. Currently, now when we have had it up for 4 days, we have, I just calculated this morning, we had 4 different types of users. Well, we have individual people who seek exposure for their products because it's an easy tool to create a portfolio, web portfolio for your work. So it's individual people, but in addition to that, we have a couple of museums in Amsterdam who want to try Thinglinks on the exhibitions that they are organizing. Now we have the University of Art and Design in Helsinki, who have Thinglinked all the Masters of Artwork. They are going to use Thinglinks and the exposition where people can go around, and actually the graduated Masters of Art, they're going to give out Thinglink stickers as business cards for the work that they've done. Then we have a couple of small shops who are selling work from local designers. Basically, what is the benefit is that if the existing product codes that are made by companies and which serve basically the system of production and logistics, so this was planned to serve the kind of system of use, which means that, first of all, the idea is that Thinglinks, they give products unique identity on the internet, and they really link physical objects with online information about them. I mean, you could tag, this is an example I have, like, mic is not working, but for example, the dress that I'm wearing, it's actually a dress that in which my mother got married, so this is very important for me. There are some meanings that I would like to write somewhere if somebody someday finds this dress from the flea market, so that's possible to find out, who has made this and when, and what kind of history it has. So for example, you could put like Thinglink stickers or stitch a Thinglink on a garment. Or then you could also use RFID tags. I also have this dress tagged with an RFID tag. I have a Nokia 3220 with the near-field communication shells, which enables you to actually write a URL or code or on a sticker. So that's like one example that you can actually link objects with online information about them. And what is really interesting, I think, that if you could travel with the object, so that you could actually track the history of an object when it travels from one person to another. Really cool. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. Help to learn about new people and new things that they make. So Thinglinks is for, I don't know if you're familiar with a theory called actor network theory, but if you are, I would say that this is actor network theory in practice. The idea that it's about making visible the networks of things and people and make them navigable. I think that the first kind of technical question is that, well, is the code long enough? For the beta version, the code is thing column 6 digits. It's 3 numbers and 3 letters. Well, that is for 17 million. The space is 17 million codes, so that's not very large, but the idea is that the code is extensible, actually. So the format is always in sequences of 3 numbers, 3 letters, 3 numbers, 3 letters. But as I said, that for the beta version, it will be the shortest one, thing column 6 digits. So it's very human readable. Another question that I normally get is that, is Thinglink a class level or an item level identification? Well, the basic idea is that you can decide if you have made, if you're a shoemaker and you make 5 equal pairs of shoes, you might give them one Thinglink, but if they're different and if they have different stories, you might like to Thinglink them separately. What is happening next? Like, this is the very first version. There are a lot of things that we should improve. What we're going to work next is we have to improve the interface still. Now on the site you can create Thinglinks, but very soon you can also label personalized stickers, labels for your work. Indexing Thinglinks is one question that interests me. That's why I'm here as well, I hope. And of course the mobile access, so that people could that we could have software on our mobile phones where it would be easy to find about Thinglinked items. I could actually show how it works now. I don't know how I'm doing with time. Mm-hmm. Directions to get to it. It's very easy to register yourself and count. When you log in, it immediately shows the things that you've put into the database. From the home page, you basically, when you want to start creating Thinglinks, you just click Create, and it gives you an empty form, and it automatically generates you a Thinglink. So this is the unique Thinglink for your work. Then you just fill in the basic information, which is like a name, title for your thing, who is the maker, or who are the makers. And then there is space for the description. There's actually a lot of space. So you can tell about the history, about the materials, about how you made it, and you can add links and so on. And most importantly, you add tags, keywords, like in Flickr, to make it easy for other people to find your work. And then you can also add the country and the year when the thing was made. Now we have a Flickr integration for photos at this stage, so you can also easily add a photo. It automatically searches the 9 most recent photos that you've uploaded on Flickr. So you can, then you can pick one from there. And when you saved your thing, then it just starts accumulating this list of your things. For example, let's see this Otso Bear, which is RFID embedded toy that I made, carries an URL. Other people can leave comments for you as well. So in that sense, it's an interactive database. Then you can also search for things. Search for art, for example. Okay, well, that's not art, though. Well, there are other, I think that there. Maybe I've been a bit ambitious and tagged my work as art, but yeah, it gives you, so you can browse what's here. And also the homepage will list the most popular tags, the popular countries, popular years, and also soon the most popular makers. And yeah, this is basically how it works. I think would you like to see something more, or maybe I'll leave it to questions? Okay. Sure.
If I scan let's say I print a Thinglink barcode on a dress, and I scan it, how will the scanner know whether it's a Thinglink barcode or some other barcode? How is that figured out?
In the code, there's always the thing column, so it's not only the number. And then we have to build software which identifies thing.
Do you coordinate the barcode standards bodies so that the right metadata is present, so that some other barcode and a Thinglink barcode will not be identical? Have you had any interaction with barcode standards bodies?
I think that the other barcode couldn't have the thing column embedded in it, and that's what it makes them different from other barcodes, for example. And it always counts in sequences of 333. Yeah. So that's how it, for example, can't be mixed with like UPC barcodes, because it has the thing column embedded and the sequences of 333. Or do you think that there is a possibility?
Well, we can talk afterwards. In previous life, I've served on barcode standards bodies. The question of conflicts and haze, is this symbology going to get confused in other readers, is what we worry about. So I'd be happy to talk to you afterwards.
Okay, great.
What if somebody wants to buy one of the things? How does that work?
Well, you can, of course, when you describe your thing, you can, for example, put a link on Etsy.com, for example, or on eBay, where you want to sell your stuff. So selling your stuff on Thinglink's.org is not possible, at least yet. I don't know if in the future, but it's not in our plan. So basically, you can add the link to an online store. Yeah.
I guess you could also. Has anyone put AdSense on there yet? Or?
Not yet. Yeah, that's what I should be thinking. I think I'm in the right place in that sense. But yeah, that's what a lot of people were asking at the Maker Faire, that what's how I'm going to generate like some income, because now I'm basically being, financing this out of my own pocket. So yeah, not yet.
Can you show an example of the stickers?
Actually, the sticker, well, this is the basic sticker, like, this is for if you have built a robot or a furniture, so you can actually stick it on that. So the idea is that the sticker will have thing column and then, free space for writing the code. But the idea is that actually that people can make their own sticker design. So we will publish stickers made by people. It doesn't have to be, this is only the basic sticker. And also what we're thinking that it will become possible very soon, that you can just immediately when you created a Thinglink, you can click label and then you can choose the sticker design that you desire, and then it puts the unique code on the sticker, and you can print it out or order that as well. So ordering stickers will become possible as well.
How big is the invisible tail? I mean, is this going to be bigger than the long tail? Is this a fad, or is this like just the way life is evolving?
I think that the question, for example, that is bigger than the long tail. Well, the fact is that very many people do all kind of stuff, but the kind of crucial question is that what do they find so meaningful that they would want to thinglink them, or they would want to share a story about them. And people have different motivations. I mean, some obviously want to put the stuff online for selling that, make an income. Others just for fun, or others just, for example, hobbyists who collect stuff. So it's kind of like displaying the story behind an object makes it more valuable. I mean, if your business is making stories visible, or for example, antique retailers, for whom it's very important to tell exactly who owned this, who of the mistresses of the King Edward owned this mirror previously, and make all this visible. Those have definitely an interest. So I see that there are a lot of like possibilities. A lot of use cases for Thinglinks. But as I said, that like now we're at the stage of exploring. Every morning when I open this page, I'm like very interested, go there and see like who have put their thing there and why, and what do they say about that. So now we're in phase of exploring, who will start using this. But I think that it's huge. That's bigger than the long tail. Yeah.
How many are on there currently?
Now that it has been there for 4 days, and I wrote about it on my blog, I think the day before yesterday, now there is a bit more than 100 things in the database. Yeah. Okay, thanks.